I want to talk to you about heat exhaustion and exertional heat stroke. Okay, let's adjust the temperature to save the organs and save the life. Once again, I'm going to dedicate this to the memory of all affected victims of heat wave worldwide. You can watch my first presentation on heat stroke, and then when you watch this with it, then you have a complete information on heat stroke. Heat exhaustion occurs when the temperature is high but less than 40 degrees Celsius. What will happen is there will be mild confusion. I call it mild because you can recover from it within 30 minutes to 1 hour. Some people with heat exhaustion will be fainting, could have dizziness, nausea, vomiting. They feel thirsty, very weak, sweating profusely, and when the pulse is taken, there will be increased heart rate. The test that will be done here will be check for the electrolytes and do core rectal temperature. The intervention necessary here is to stop the exertion. Look for somewhere cool. Look for a shadow. Turn the air conditioning on. Remove excess clothing because you need to lose that heat fast. Your sweat gland is already working. Your blood vessels are dilated already. So stop keeping the heat to yourself. Tear apart those clothes. Drink fluid. Drink sport drinks that contain salt. If all this will not work, then take out the fluid, get to clinic where they can have mini emergency services where you could be given intravenous fluid. Prehydrate before the event. That will help you. Before you start jogging during a hot weather situation, drink a lot of fluid before setting out. And when you know you have an event tomorrow, rest very well today. Have a good sleep. Remove the stress. Light clothing instead of thick or multi-layer clothing should be the order of the day. Exertional heat stroke is very common among young people. Like the name depicts, it involves rigorous exertion. And unfortunately, this is taking place in an environment where there is a very high humidity. So the ambient temperature or the surrounding temperature is very high, humidity is very high, and this young teenager is exerting vigorously. So the temperature here will be greater than 40 degrees Celsius as the core temperature. And like I've said, very common among teenagers, heat-related illnesses is the third cause of death among this group of people. Now, the heat-related illnesses and death will follow accident or trauma in them or cardiac-related problems. There's more heat produced from higher metabolic rates in this set of human beings. You know, they are full of energy. So the rate at which they generate it within the body is higher than in elderly. But they have another problem of having difficulty to dissipate the already generated heat. while the blood volume and the cardiac output are not as high as in adults. They have lower rate of swelling and they find it difficult to acclimatize because they do that very slowly. So elderly people could acclimatize faster than children and they sweat more than these younger people and they could dissipate it better and they have bigger or higher cardiac output. All these are disadvantageous to these younger people who unfortunately will exert themselves more than the elderly people. So exertional heat stroke is a problem of the young. The risk factors for heat stroke in children will be diaphoresis. You need that swelling to take place so that you can cool down, but in an individual who has been sweating profusely, then when the time comes for it to become an advantage, it's not there. Cystic fibrosis, I've made a separate presentation in details on cystic fibrosis. Please kindly check it out. Hyperthyroidism, because of the increased body metabolic processes generating more heat within. Diabetes mellitus, diabetes insipidus, lose more fluid. Diarrhea fluid is also lost. Vomiting fluid is also lost. Anorexia nervosa, not eating, not drinking enough. Drug abuse, cocaine could generate heat. Obesity, fat, is an insulator, so kills the heat within. And of course, excessive extraction is the reason why this is a problem in them. Neuroleptic malignant syndrome. The cause is unknown, but there are a lot of hypothetical situations already on record. One is that dopamine receptor blockage in the hypothalamus is responsible for the increase in temperature. The rigidity that we could see and the tremor is as a result of alteration in dopamine pathways. And also some hypothesize that there is alteration in mitochondrial function. Medications are involved in neuroleptic malignant syndrome, and topmost among which will be antipsychotics, both first and second generation. And the first generation antipsychotics have worse situations when it comes to neuroleptic malignant syndrome. Let me put it this way, that the tendency to have neuroleptic malignant syndrome while taking antipsychotics is greater when you are on first generation antipsychotics. I will make a separate presentation on neuroleptic malignant syndrome fully later on, and also on antipsychotics. You can watch out for that. Because the first generation, like haloperidol, will give neuroleptic malignant syndrome faster than the second generation, like risperidone, because risperidone at lower dosage, less than 8 milligrams per day, will not likely give that, but when you go beyond that dosage, it's likely the patient will be treated to that. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to antipsychotics. Some common antiemetics that many people have taken over many days could lead to this in some, like metoclopramide, promethazine, domperidone, propylpiracine, and of course, withdrawal of L-DOPA or dopaminergic medications. What are the clinical features of neuroleptic malignant syndrome? Temperature greater than 38 degrees Celsius, or could even be greater than 40. There is generalized lead pipe rigidity, impaired mental status, and there will be autonomic instability, evident by increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, increased respiratory rate, increased sweating, and increased arrhythmia. The investigations that could be carried out here will be increased creatinine kinase will show when you assay that the white blood cells will increase, increase LDH, ALP, ALT, and AST, increase myoglobinuria. Malignant epidemia, on the other hand, is a genetic disorder. It is usually associated with seasonal choline and vigorous exertion. In conclusion, the best is to take precautions. Stay safe. I'm done with heat and associated problems in humans, but there'll be more neuroleptic malignant syndrome, malignant epidemia, and antipsychotics as far as its metabolism is involved. So to the victims of heat stroke and their loved ones, identify with you and wishing you the ability to bear the loss. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Kindly subscribe so that you can get these presentations as soon as they're published. So when you're out in summer and it's very hot, do what is necessary to stay safe. Thank you.